portray a city under siege and on the verge of surrendering to a fate that, well, it actually altered itself. And it seems, though not that it's happening, people have no really desire to fulfill it. But think about this: cutting overtime pay for police, warning that the migrant crisis will cause despair in the city. But the fact is what's happening in New York is happening in so many cities in America. Moreover, history has witnessed this before, as captured by Edward Gibbons in those 3 volumes on the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. Joining me now, heritage economist Peter St. Onge. And Peter, it really feels surreal to watch New York City descend into this sort of quicksand of misery. But the quicksand is made up of policies, New York City policies. Your thoughts?
That's exactly right. People voted for this, and they're going to keep getting it as long as they keep voting for it. You know, usually governments cut the police to pressure voters. You know, it's like, nice city you have here, be ashamed something happened to it. Then voters have to pony up for more budget. In this case, they're doing it on purpose. They're not even hiding it. It's almost like they're looking for an excuse to cut the police, to leave, inner city crime victims defenseless, and to put it all on behalf of this unlimited flow of overseas migrants. And just as you say, the patterns are exactly like the fall of Rome. You know, we had 3 factors in Rome. There was economics, corruption, and endless foreign wars. These are probably going to sound familiar to people.
In your recent podcast, you had, you covered so many things. You were talking about Social Security going bust, wartime deficits in peacetime, Biden's fake, quote, job miracle, Japan and China ditching their U.S. assets. You could probably add Saudi Arabia and others to that list. The coming green energy bailout. And again, we could go into so many details with all of these, but I feel like there's a common thread. And for me, all of this points to a lack of care for the plight of the middle class and a focus on something else, something that has nothing to do with America or Americans.
That's absolutely right. It's power versus the people. They try to divide us with politics or by identity or all the other things that they throw out there to try to get people to fight each other. Fundamentally, the American people are being fleeced by special interests, a lot of them who actually work in the government. There was a study out that just said Congress is worth $5 billion. They make, $174,000 a year. That is very impressive. That's fundamentally the issue here, is that the people are being fleeced, they know it, and those in power cannot censor fast enough to keep it from them.
I don't even know they have to censor anymore, though. You know, that's the part that angers me. We've got senators out there who are buying puts on the market. Okay, listen, it's one thing to trade, right? But you don't want to bet that we're going to give that out, right? You know, it's like betting on your own game, right? Ask Pete Rose about this. This keeps you out of the Hall of Fame. You don't bet against America no matter how bad you feel if you happen to be sitting in the Senate. And so here we have, listen, I hate to say it, but I look at President Biden, for instance. There's no way anyone will allow him in his present capacity to run anything. The family grocery store, any kind of business, and yet we're going to all look the other way, for the most part, certainly in his party and the media, as they attempt to usher him back in for another term. And so how do you explain how we always say throw the bums out, but we want to keep our bums?
That's exactly what happens. People throw the bums out, they hire the other bums. And at some point, people need to question the entire system. The system has gone corrupt. The Uniparty has many of the same goals. They sit in the room, in the back rooms, they cook this stuff up. So I think we absolutely need outsiders. They know this. They know that the outsiders are a threat, and that's why they went after Trump. They're going after Bobby Kennedy. They're going to go after any outsider who comes in, because they know that's fundamentally the threat. It's not one party, the other party. It's the outsiders versus those who are in the game.
I got 25 seconds, Peter. Without being too hyperbolic or too crazy here, this path down the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, is there time to get off of it? Can we get off of it, off this path?
There always is. We have been through worse as a country. In the aftermath of Lincoln, early in the Republic, we have been through harder times. I think the trick here is that the frog will jump when they realize that the water is boiling. And the important thing is to make people understand that it is getting very hot very fast.
Yeah, well, let's just hope we still have some of our skin by the time we jump. Peter, thank you very much, my friend. Great stuff as usual. All right, folks, coming up, my takeaway on the